So today I have more Friday Jank. This time I'm destroying our opponents with massive flying armadillos in our mono white Crater Hoof-esque Collector's Cage combo deck. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today I'm playing a super cool, super janky deck featuring a pretty amazing card that I don't think enough people are playing in Standard. Firstly, don't forget to like and subscribe below, because where else are you going to see monstrous flying armadillos killing your opponents in Standard? But onto this deck, and we are going to be pairing the amazing Collector's Cage with Moonshaker Cavalries for some enormous attacks out of nowhere. So the Cage is a 2-mana artifact that has Hideaway 5, meaning when it ETBs you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library, then exile 1 underneath the Cage. Now for 1 mana and tap, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control, and when you do, if you now have 3 different creatures with different powers, you get to play the exiled card for free. So the potential here is endless, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what can be cheated out at this moment. But today I'm cheating out our Moonshaker's Cavalry, our Crater Hoof-esque White Spirit Knights. They're normally 8 mana for a flying 6/6, but when this ETBs, all creatures you control gain flying and gain +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the amount of creatures you control. The rest of the deck are cheap white creatures with different powers to help enable our combo. Firstly, we have Nurturing Pixie. This card is great as it's a 1 mana 1/1 that when it ETBs can bounce another target non-fairy to your hand, then it gets a +1/+1 counter. This works well to get your Cage back to your hand if you missed on its Hideaway, or be super cheeky and return your Resolute Reinforcements or Bondwardens to help recast them for more value. I've got Inspectors, Evangelists and Knight-Errants to keep the creatures with different powers flowing, plus a card that I've been meaning to play since this set dropped. That's right, I'm playing a 1 mana Armored Armadillo. I've been trying to find a slot for this card in a janky brew forever, and this is its moment to shine. If I win one game with a mammoth flying armadillo, I'm going to be very happy. But on a serious note, this is a bit of an early roadblock for your opponents to have to get through. Plus it eventually attacks as a 4/4 late game, and its early 0 power is great in our deck with our Cage. Finally, I've got Virtue of Loyalty, almost as a plan B in case our cavalries are nowhere to be found, and some Duelists to help draw some cards when they get +1/+1 counters. Today I have 23 lands, and that is our janky combo build today. So this deck is all about doing something weird and having fun along the way. I won way more games than I really should, and the alternatives here are endless. You could add red for the recruiters to be a little bit less janky, but I found that was way too similar to the meta Convoke Boros deck that I just didn't want to do, so I'm sticking with my armadillos, and you can't change my mind on that one. If you want to jank out your opponent though, this deck could be for you. Give me your thoughts on Collector's Cage in the comments below. What do you want to cheat out with it? Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Alright then, on the draw with our mono white Moonshaker Cavalry, Collector's Cage, Flying Armadillo combo deck here. However you want to put it, this has been a blast to play. Turn 1 here we have the Bondwarden. It is a 0/1 that enters with a +1 counter. Or backup 1, you kind of want to normally try and put that onto another one of your creatures to leave this as a 0 powered creature. It's a very easy way to help facilitate your Collector's Cage, but we don't have a Cage anyway, so I'm not too concerned there. Cavern of Souls is fantastic for us here, as the opponent looks like they're holding open counter magic. We'll name Human, which we normally always want to do. Looks like we're up against Esper, so we'll drop our Resolute Reinforcements here. Slowish kind of start for us here, but we've got 3 creatures on the battlefield. Fortunately, they all have the same power, but like I said, we don't have our Cage yet, so I don't really care too much. We'll go for the Knight-Errant of Eos. We'll tap our team here and see what we find. Or not. I must have not clicked the reinforcements there. It's a shame if we find a 1-drop here. We do the Bondwarden. Okay, fair enough. But we have 3 creatures on the board, and I guess we get to poke them for 1 damage. They're down to 18. And they go for the end on our Knight. Okay, well, honestly, with respect, I don't particularly care. That card is not in this deck for any other reason than a kind of just another way to help fill our hand, keep our hand as stacked as possible as we find a Collector's Cage. Okay, well, they are tapped out. It's the card that could be countered. Let's play it. Let's see what's going on. Well, we have a cavalry. Alright, so Bondwarden here, I guess, can come down as an 0-1. Pop a counter on the Resolute Reinforcements. Yeah, I mean, this is a massive attack, isn't it? This is the combo straight up. Is this... Oh my days, we had lethal. I can't believe that, but that is what we're trying to do. That is amazing. Alright, on the play. Very nice hand. Turn 1 Inspector, turn 2 Cage. If we miss, we can pixie it back to our hand. This is great. Obviously, a lot of ifs and buts here. If the opponent just leaves our creatures alone. They do play Mountain, so we'll go for the Cage here. Find a... That is pretty bad. 2 cages, and so that's all 4 cages. It's been revealed for us now. Let's just hit planes because we're going to bounce this. And I don't really want to just... completely waste the other cages. Charming Scoundrel for our opponent here. And they are a Rakdos deck, so maybe a Crimes deck, but it could be a Treasure style deck, as they do make one with their Scoundrel. And they get in there, okay. That is fine by me. Okay, there is some stick here, so they definitely have something. Could it be a Play with Fire? Who knows? Find a Duelist. Okay, well, we'll go for the Duelist, I think, because what we can do is Pixie as well. Pop the Cage back into a hand. We could have used the Cage there to target our Duelist to draw a card. But it means next turn we can potentially win if we find a Moonshaker off our Cage and we can pop a counter onto one of our other creatures. Opponent with an Impact Cow. Sure. Not too scared of that card right now. Going to incentivize them to want to attack us. But it looks like they may have a removal spell as well. They are hovering our cards. Clawing Torment, not quite a removal spell. It's going to stop me from blocking their... Well, using that to block, but I can still use the Pixie to block. So the little counter there, fantastic for the Pixie. Reinforcements. I guess we could go for the Cage here. The problem I've got is... we can't quite make 3 different powered creatures. Oh, there's the Cavalry. Yeah, that Torment there has tormented me slightly. We'll just put it on the Pixie. This represents lethal for us next turn. If they just leave my board alone here. Means we can pop a counter onto the Duelist. Tali's Favour onto a Neem. Please no removal. Monstrous Rage. I'm not worried about that. Hopefully that's all they've got. They're going to attack us for a massive chunk. It's going to take it all. Go down to 7. I know we have lethal. If they don't have a removal spell. Reinforcements first. It's going to be additional pumps onto our team. Collector's Cage onto the Inspector. Play the Moonshaker. Tackle. And that is more than lethal. Alright, on the play here. Alright, we have a Pixie and the Cage. Kind of nice because if the Cage misses, the Pixie can pick it back up, pop it back into your hand. It would mean that we're not playing a turn 1 play here. But I think that's fine. We have enough creatures to enable that Cage anyway, so we'll be keeping this hand once the opponent decides what they want to do. It is a tapped Oars of Land, and yeah, I'm just going to say go. Like I said, you could play the Pixie there, but with experience, it might be better just to wait as they play a Dread Knight. So it looks like they are some Abzan Brew up there. We have so many options now. We definitely want to get creatures onto the battlefield. I'm just going to play the Reinforcements now in case they go into like a blue mana for any reason. There's no reason for us to hold this back. I don't really want them to remove my creatures, and I don't know if they want to on just a couple of 1/1s anyway. They might want to play that Dread Knight onto the battlefield. But yeah, as a combo deck, it's fine. I mean, we're looking to fly over the top of any of their blockers pretty much at instant speed. Yep, there's the Dread Knight. And we draw our Eiganjo. So the Evangelist here is the most mana efficient play. Could have played the Cage there, and if we missed, go for the Pixie to return it back to our hand. But think the opponent might be inclined to want to take care of our 2-1 here. Virtue our bat instead. Okay. And a Scrap Gorger. Okay. Hesitant here, but we could have lethal. I guess they gain life though there. I think we'll start off with the... I mean, I don't think we have lethal, even if we have a Moonshaker here. But we'll see what we find. No Moonshaker. Okay. Alright, well, let's just go for the cage here. And then, yeah, interesting here, because although I want to cast this cage that's underneath the cage, I don't quite have the creatures available to do that. I would need to play the Pixie, return the reinforcements to my hand. That would put a counter on the Pixie, and then the cage can counter onto either the Pixie or the Evangelist. So, slightly different way of doing this turn, but this enables us to have 3 different powered creatures and get to cast this other cage. And there is a Moonshaker Cavalry. Okay, we just got to hold off until next turn. We should be able to find a way to get 3 different powered creatures with the 2 cages, Resolute Reinforcements, Virtue. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a few cards that they could have to annoy me here. Terra Sunder is definitely an option. Bondwarden isn't bad. Alright, so we want to get as many creatures down as possible to maximize our Moonshaker Crater Hoof card that is we are about to play off the top of the cage. They have so much mana open. They have 6 mana here. They can pretty much do anything. We will definitely... Well, we'll see. If they kill the creature that we target with our Collector's Cage in response, it doesn't trigger the cast, the free cast that we have, but we'll just do it again the following turn, and then we'll do it again the following turn. But opponent is in the tank here. They are definitely thinking about something. Okay, well, our Bondwarden hits the battlefield, and we'll back up onto one of our creatures that are going to be attacking. Let's go for the Evangelist. And we have to play the reinforcements to put another +2/+2 onto our creatures when the Cavalry ETBs. We have a Collector's Cage trigger here from the one that doesn't have anything under it. So you can see if we got a Pixie now, we could have then just flickered that or put that cage back into our hand. We'll go for this one now, and we'll pop this onto... Let's go for the 2/2. Play our Cavalry. And this is lethal if this all works the way I'm hoping it will work. There we go. +7/+7 to all our creatures. 3 of them can attack now. Now, they might have a removal spell here, but that is a huge chunk of damage coming through. Opponent. I'm not sure what they're doing here, but this is just going through their phases, and yeah. I guess even Battlecry is working here. Come on, opponent, just click. Yeah, they just take defeat there from our little combo. Alright, on the draw, and yeah, I mean, decent kind of hand here. I mean, all our hands are pretty decent. We'd like to find the Collector's Cage. But yeah, I mean, not too bad. And there seems to be a lack of armadillos in my opening hands as well. Yesterday when I was playing this deck, just to kind of test it out, I was getting a lot of armadillos. And honestly, 0/4 Ward 1 creatures are not the easiest for opponents to want to have to dig through. Plus, they do turn into 4/4s later on, so don't hate that card. They do play the Tai Joaquin. Perfect shot. Okay, so it's an annoying deck for R1 to play against. They're presumably just going to have a load of burn spells. So, yeah, I just need to find our Collector's Cage, and maybe we might be able to find a way to win here. But not holding out too much hope. And in Pakal for our opponent. Okay. Fair chunk of damage coming our way over the next few turns. I guess we can play our Virtue here to block the 1/1. Fortunately, the 3 toughness on there. 2/3 is annoying because I would have blocked that myself. We'll go for the Evangelist, and we're just setting ourselves up for a combo win, if we can find our combo, that is. We'll get in there with the Pixie. It's not blocking. So let me know your thoughts on Collector's Cage. I think the card is pretty good. I think there's a lot of ways to build around it and a lot of cards you can put underneath it. I did play with Boros for the longest time with the Recruiter as a kind of plan B. But I just didn't feel particularly comfortable with it. I prefer this mono white build. The Virtue of Loyalty has worked really well as well. Opponent here is just jamming with everything. We definitely need to find a Collector's Cage. I think that's the thing in this deck. If you don't find that card, we are quite susceptible to just being run over. So turning it into a Prowess deck might be a decent... Sorry, a Convoke deck might be a decent game plan here. We'll play the Knight-Errant here to see what we can find. Is that Pixie? Okay, Pixie returning the reinforcements is not the world's worst. Yeah, we can't target the other Pixie. It's not the world's worst play here. We get a counter on this Pixie. We just don't want to die. There's Anzrag. Okay, not got haste though, so not too concerned. Alright, here we go. We draw a Moonshaker. Okay. Not quite able to cast that. I did also play a treasure build to enable us to cast the Cavalry. But it just, at that point, came away from what I was trying to do. This is just a bit of a janky fun here. I'll make a more serious version of Collector's Cage as the season progresses. I think there's some really good green cards to put underneath it. So yeah, let me know what you think you could do with this particular deck. No attacks here. I'm not sure what I want to do here. We could just take the damage from Anzrag. I'm just going to go all in on just trying to find the combo, just not dying this turn. Okay, Anzrag has a 9/5. Okay, alright, well, we'll block accordingly. We could kill this Anzrag. Well, I mean, we can't just chump it, but then they're going to be attacking us with Aneem, and we're going to lose most of our board and not be in any position to win. So this is our best option. Hopefully they've just got land in their hand right now. Nope, it is a Lightning Helix, and we will accept defeat. Alright then, on the play, and we have an Armadillo in our opening hand, which is always what I wanted to see. When these Armadillos were spoiled in the new set, I knew I had to try and find a way to play them somewhere. I love little janky cards. I don't think this is the absolute worst turn 1 play, especially as a common. An 0/4 with Ward 1 that becomes a 4/4. Has some sweet kind of combo-ish text on it. Trust me, the card isn't that bad, and it is really good at blocking and becoming a roadblock against mono-red Monastery Swift Spears. Not so much the slick shots that seem to be all over the ladder at the moment. They are extremely difficult to deal with unless you have... They're extremely difficult to play against unless you have a more meta deck against these kind of janky decks. Fortunately, you need to spend a lot of places in your deck just to deal with one very specific card, which is a bit annoying. Opponent with Duress though, and they cannot take anything from my hand, although they do see it and think, what is going on here? And go for the throat, my 2/2, okay. Leaving my Armadillo alone, I see. They respect it as much as I do. So I guess we just drop our cards where we can. They are tapped out here. They look like they're in some kind of Dimir. I want to say Proft because of the Eiganjo. We'll flash out the reinforcements. Might be countered, which will leave the door open for next turn, potentially something. But 2 cavalries in our hand here, not great. Spyglass Siren for our opponent here to make a map token and become a flyer. And they are exploring onto it to try and make it a 2/2, but they just find a land instead. Restless Reef. They've already played their land for the turn, I believe, so yeah, we're just looking for our combo pieces here. We'll play our reinforcements. So we've got more than enough creatures, more than enough powers. It's just our planes, sure. So next turn, a planes would enable us to play the Virtue of Loyalty, but going to get in there with our Armored Armadillo. Yeah, why not? And the bat. If they block, fair enough, but yeah. Let's get in there with this 4/4. Take the opponent down to 13. I doubt this was on their list of things that they were going to expect to see today. Have to face an Armadillo. They play Sheoldred. Okay, I mean, Shielded blocks the Armadillo pretty nicely. And okay, that is an attack. Why are they attacking like this? Sure, just take it. I mean, they're kind of shielded down a little bit. Alright, Collector's Cage, come on, RNG gods. Let's find a cavalry off the top and let's kill them with this Armadillo. Spell Pierce, okay. Slight sigh there. We don't find one anyway, okay. Alright, little anticlimactic there for us. What do we have though? I mean, the Knight's not the worst card. We can get in there with our bat. And we'll just try and kill them over the next couple of turns a different way. Kind of thought that that was going to go through there and we were going to be able to smash them in the air. If they attack with Shelly, I'm not too concerned. We can just take a bit of damage. I mean, we're still on 15. A Genius Prodigy, okay, 4-5 with Skulk. Alright, they're getting in there. Yeah, I mean, so we can just block the Synthesis if we wanted to, but I'm all in on the Collector's Cage as we find another one off the top. Alright, let's do this. There's our cavalry. There we go. Alright, this is the dream. We are going to kill them with the biggest armadillo you've ever seen in your life. Let's go. What's he going to get to? It's going to be 7 power. We are going to smash them in the air. 8-11 armadillo plus a whole plethora of other creatures. Opponent goes down to -41. What a victory there. Alright then, on the draw. I mean, we're just going to keep it, aren't we? 2 cages. I mean, I don't really want it, but surely we're going to hit some creatures along the way. But yeah, 2 cages, not ideal. Alright, Duelist, not too bad. At least that is a creature, but not one of our early plays. And Virtue. Okay, so it's going to be the slow road here to victory, hopefully, for us. Opponent is on a Esper build. And that is a Wandering Emperor surveilled away. So, you know what that suggests to me? It suggests that they have another one in their hand, because surely that's one of their better cards. Hey, the Armadillo makes a grand entrance to the battlefield here. Yeah, we'll just attack them with the 2-2. And I'm just going to go for the Duelist. This could be countered. Presumably they just have counters in their hand. We have not found one of our Cavern of Souls yet. And I certainly don't want to play a cage into counter magic. Phantom Interference counters my spell. Sure. And they just pass the turn as we find a cavalry. Okay. Well, we'll get in there with the 2-2. Armadillo can potentially start attacking next turn if we find a land. Let's go for the Evangelist. See if they counter this one as well. No, just a Siphon Insight into our deck. Okay. Got to be happy with that as the Evangelist hits the battlefield, and even if they find a way to kill it, we have a 2-1 available. Alright, well, Collector's Cage here. If they counter this, we have another one. Potentially lethal here. Potentially lethal here. Very potentially lethal. That is a Moonshaker Cavalry there. So we're going to go for the win here. Let's pop it on the 2-2. Okay, they've got something. They don't know what's underneath our cage. Serum Snare, okay, to return the creature. Yeah, don't get the trigger from the cage, but we still got an attack here with Battle Cry. So opponent down to 8. They're just going to die the old-fashioned way here. Maybe. Alright, well, we are just going to keep doing the same thing. Evangelist here. Opponent scoops it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were going to die anyway.